um, speaking on the camera relaxes me. So I'll give you some more exposition. And and mostly it's so that I can clarify myself what's going on right now with me in this moment. Uh, in screenplay terms, it's called exposition. So the last year, 2023, I worked almost exclusively on the Page Turner Award adaptations. So I made a dozen or so adaptations, maybe more. And that kept me going. That was a monthly gig that, oh, there's somebody there. Hola. That kept me going. That kept me, but that kind of slows down a little bit. In the month of October and November of last year. And I have to use my credit card to survive, my gold card to survive. And then I start getting a few more gigs on different things. I get another one. I pay some of the credit card debt. Um, but not really enough. I get accustomed to a certain amount of spending that I unrealistically thinking that I'm gonna be getting these gigs all the time. Follow up in a very uncautious way, and the result obviously is that there's no gig, and then the credit card debt goes up and starts charging interest and getting out of hand very quickly. I've been meaning to show you a video on. I'll show you the credit card financials in there, but I have to pull them out and everything. It's complicated, and I don't have a laptop. So, so I'm kind of day by day. Uh, One thing I've learned about life is when you don't have work or you have very little work, you have to work harder to get more. It's like my dad taught me that to some extent. And sometimes you just shit out of luck. Sometimes you just there is no work, and you gotta. But you gotta keep the effort going. You gotta keep the animus and um, the momentum going, so you don't slow down and start going into a depression and fucking off. So what I've been trying to do since October, November, December included, January, February now, is to keep the momentum going, to keep the the energy, the good vibe going, And then I drop tea on my computer, and that kind of like slows down the good vibe, right? And it's not because it's one thing; it's a combination of elements. It's many things. It's like one thing after another type of thing, like running out of coffee. And literally, I'll show you the coffee level in me. it's it may seem like nothing to you guys, but man, if I'm out of coffee, I'm really out of it. So it's not one thing. It's a combination of tiny little elements. I still have some coffee. I mean, this will probably last me 3 4 days. I drink a lot of coffee. Um, but it's this idea that you don't have the same income as you had before, or you can't take care of yourself the same way you did as you did before. And it's really, I mean, I've been talking about it now for months. I think month. I've been talking about my income now for quite a few videos. It's not something that usually bothers me. Because I understand that money comes and goes, and you have to keep trying to make it. You don't, if you don't, if you don't write a screenplay, you're gonna read cards. If you don't read cards, you go, I don't know, shine shoes or sell tortas. There is a certain age when you don't want to start all over again. When you want to do what you know how to do well and enjoy doing it and keep doing it, but you don't have to reinvent or recreate yourself at every turn. Um, like today, I was looking for jobs in Valle Bravo, and there's cashier jobs. There's cashiers for pharmacies. There's sales jobs at the at the bed store, bedding store. I mean, there's jobs, but they're jobs for young people that have not done much and that are just starting out. Usually, that's the type of job. The bank jobs, just like bank cashier, bank. Most of those people are young that get those jobs. I'm 55, and I'm pretty set in my ways. I like what I like. I don't want to like get a. I mean, I'll do it if I have to. You know, I'll shave, but if I have to, you know, because I've gone through the loop. I've gone through the grinder. I've done all that already. I know what it implies. I know what it is, and I understand that there's other things you can try to do. You can send more applications for writing gigs. The ChatGPT affected my work considerably, and then something shitty happens. Your laptop gets wet, and all your energy, all your strength, all your joie de vivre gets knocked out of you like a punch in the gut. And you gotta be philosophical about it and analyze it from a very standoffish point of view. There's always somebody that's having it worse than you are. That's always a factor. But it's not about somebody having it worse. It's about you not going into a spiral of negativity and of anguish. And meditation is the key. That's the reason I turned the camera on. Is like right now giving this speech, giving this dialogue, sharing this with you guys, whoever you are, is my meditation. It's my way to reflect on what's going on in my life right now that causes me this anxiety and this lack of tranquility and peace abiding. Because a good Zen monk would just sit down and breathe, But I'm not a good Zen monk. I'm an old fart with a camera. And less coffee. And yeah, the journey is inside. The journey is towards the inside. I mean, I always like to I always like to take on the worst case scenario, like the very worst case scenario, and see where that takes me. You know, it's one of my meditations is worst case scenario meditation. I don't know where I got that from, but it's true. And so let's analyze the worst case scenario from right now. Worst case scenario, the very worst thing that can happen is that I don't pay my bank loan and I have to change accounts on my PayPal so that if I have any work, it doesn't get sucked in by the bank loan that I'm not paying. I'll lose my credit. I won't be able to buy anything on credit, which is a handicap for someone that already has a lot of handicaps. So if I have to use if I have to go to the States in an emergency, I won't have enough money for the ticket. I won't have credit to buy a ticket. And I'll keep working and I'll keep working on it and I'll keep doing what I do. Um, and I'll have to use either this useless computer that just basically used to watch videos, or I'll have to go downtown each day to write and use a computer to send art. Use a good computer at the cyber cafe. So that's the worst case scenario. That's the worst that can happen. That's the obviously, well, if we go to the worst case scenario, I mean, I can get hijacked by cartel members and shot and quartered and tortured to death and all that wonderful stuff that happens here in Mexico all the time. That's the worst. That's the worst of the worst case scenarios. I'm talking about the worst case scenarios about specifically regarding my computer getting wet and dying and not being able to pay my credit. It's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's not something that I like to think about, but I do have to think in terms of if this happens, what can I do to resolve it to make it work? And the other thing is, it's funny, is that when the universe, when it pushes one way, it pushes the other always. So there's going to be this pendulum, this swinging back and forth of energy and of reality, and that's okay. That's quite okay. I mean, I don't have a work tool right now. I don't have a tool to work. I was working, and the water fell on the computer, and now I can't work. And I can do some emails and stuff on this computer that I have here, this one here. But really, honestly, truly, this one, it goes off, and you can't and all, and of course, all the stuff that I had written just got whacked by the water that fell on the laptop. That's that's something I cannot recover. Or maybe I can. I'll take it in to see if they can recover the hard drive. But again, I need resources to do that, and I'm literally not very solvent right now. So what's got me down is it's in here. It's all in here. It's all in mental shit, and I get that. But getting over that mental shit requires an effort that I'm not entirely sure how to do right now, because there's a lot of stuff that comes in the baggage of just one tiny little event, which is water falling on my laptop. It suddenly makes me think about the lawsuit in the house, about my mother's death and how it went down, about Rousseau leaving the house, about, well, Nanda's fine, about my poor sister that, has no income, um, about poor Shammy that wants to come out here and, be with me and can't because we have no income. For traveling, no travel income, It's like income for, I mean, obviously, if I just sit down on the plaza and put my cards out, I'm gonna pull out enough money for the cats and I to eat. But that may not pay my credit card. Certainly, it may pay my internet. Won't pay the credit card. Won't pay the water thing. It won't pay other things that are more. It may pay the water thing. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I can go out there and read cards and leave my poor cat alone, which is going to cause her trauma, cat trauma. But she's a big cat and she can handle it. So, um, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me that is not handling it. It's me that is like freaking out. It's all inside of here. It's all inside of here. This whole thing is happening because I'm freaking out. The very fact that I threw water on my laptop by accident shows me that I'm not paying attention. ¿Qué pasó, bebé? Shows me that I'm not paying attention. That I'm fucking up, and I have to really focus on the energy flow that takes me to that fucking up space. That space where things don't flow. It's like my game of Dungeons and Dragons last night, the night before. I mean, I got fed up. I blew up. I don't usually blow up. I don't usually blow up. I usually let them do stupid thing, and I don't. But I was not in a mood to deal with the constant baiting and that goes in Dungeons and Dragons. It's not something I wanted to do right at that time. So I needed a break. I needed a break from my friends, from playing the game that I most enjoy. I mean, the thing that I most enjoy, supposedly, and I don't want to do it right now. And I don't want to do it because I don't feel well. I don't feel good. I don't feel at ease. I feel pressured, and there's nothing pressuring me. There's no real, like. I mean, I'm not being held with a gun to my head. I'm not being, I'm not in jail. I'm not, I'm not. I've been in much worse situations in my life, much worse than this. I have a roof over my head. I have internet, and I have food in my fridge. I have chicken heads in my fridge. I am out of food. Actually, I have to go buy food. I have coffee. Uh, but I don't feel well. I feel bogged down by the simplest things. I mean, usually my computer goes down. I try to repair it, try to do something. But right now, it's my computer goes down, and my cat's pregnant, and this and that, and that, and it's like so much going on, and I don't have work. And the basis of, I mean, the basis of my unease is this idea that I don't have steady work. And oddly enough, when I was working with Telvista, I was dying, man. It was killing me. 8 hours behind the phone, listening to people bitch and moan, was making my blood pressure just, speaking of, shoot sky high. The good thing is that I could actually go take care of it at the inns, when you work for a large company, you can go take care of yourself, of your health with their insurance. So right now, I don't have that. Miami, the Bravo has a free hospital. Actually, has three free hospitals. It has like three free clinics. It's like two clinics and a hospital that are basically free for anybody that needs medical assistance. So it's not, you know, not that bad. But what I do get is that getting myself so riled up about dropping water on my laptop is because there is other things behind it that have been not well, and the other things are just relationships. I mean, the if I think about what causes me the most anguish is relationships, you know, and I must be honest, I don't have any relationships. I got my dad. We talk, you know, well, and I have friends. I have lots of friends that I have my clients that love me. They come and go, and but I'm kind of like sometimes I feel I'm not a very popular guy. Like people get a weird impression about me sometimes. I'm not like an easy guy to swallow. I'm not an easy pill to swallow. I'm a crotchety old man. Not that old, crotchety. And I have high expectations of my friends, and I ask a lot of them. I ask a lot from them. Like I just asked my aunt for help, the computer because I don't have anybody else to go that has, the money like that. And she doesn't have that much money. She's basically a school teacher. So, so what is it? What is it that's got me on this path of anguish and discomfort? Is it a spiritual discomfort? Is it a mental discomfort? Physical is not. I mean, I'm okay. I just ate a nice bowl of spaghetti and I have a nice cup of coffee, and it's a beautiful day outside. I can go out if I want. I don't want. Uh, mental, certainly mental is a big theme with me. This idea of things falling apart slowly. Uh, but the mental, I try to exercise with my writing on top. It's like oops, I do a lot of my writing to exercise my like my story writing. Is to exercise those mental demons, those doubts, those things that and they all revolve around dying and death in the end. I mean, it's all about dying in the end. Dying is a big lesson, and the fact that people around you die, loved ones die, can't do much about it. And then this idea of minimizing yourself too. It's like looking at yourself as less than or unable to. Unable to is the big one. I am not able to stabilize my income remotely because I'm doing something wrong. Not learning how to use the remote tools of work. And I have a lack of something, a lack of what? Why don't I get a stable income from my remote work? you know? It's like the ayahuasca, the ayahuasca work that I wanted to do. I literally had one client in ayahuasca, and they paid me and they ran away. And it was a big message for me. It was a big message. It was like, oh, what's going on here? My one client doesn't want to drink ayahuasca with me. He came all the way from Mexico City to drink ayahuasca and sat with me. We talked. We talked about the journey, how it was going to happen, what was going to go down, and everything. And he decided to run away. And oddly enough, it's about my beard. I mean, if I think about it, the one socially acceptable element of my being is like it can be summarized with my beard. You know, I have this beard, this big mustache, this big beard. I don't want to shave it. But if I want to get a job at a Dr. Simi, or if I want to get a job, I don't know, like with the government, Vita Bravo is, as a clerk or whatever, it requires me to go into a realm where I have to shave and use the use a tie. You know, I mean, I use ties through my life. I've used ties many times. I've shaved many times. I have walked the war suit. My dad calls it the war suit. You know, gone to war with the jacket and white shirt and tie many times. And there's something profoundly sad about it, because it's like society, human nature, the the wrong memes on of mankind take you to that place where you can't have tattoos, you have to shave, you have to use a tie, because the people that have more income than you do will not accept your talents and will not accept your work. Not accept your strengths unless you conform. The word is conform to their vision of the universe. And that vision is something you may not actually agree with. You know, and I think if you think about it, I mean, this idea that we could all work remotely in our computers and stuff, which is kind of what we're talking about, liberates us to be who we really want to be. Makes us, I can work and I can have a big beard and nobody's going to say anything about it because you know, I may have to go online and speak with somebody online, but if my work quality is good, the fact that I have a beard does not affect them at all because I'm, some guy in a cabin in the woods in Mexico. But somehow, uh, when that fails, because you drop some water on your computer, for instance, or just because there's no more work because ChatGPT is getting all the script jobs in YouTube. um, and you have to go back into society, let's call it. You have to abandon who you are. You have to let go of who you think you are and become an actor. You have to act in a certain way. It's unpleasant, very unpleasant, because there's an age where you don't want to act. You just want to be you. You just want to be you. You just want to be, left alone. And I suppose it's not a new thing. I suppose it's been like this forever. And in the Middle Ages, probably they had beards in the Middle Ages, but they had other things that you had to do. That you had to go to church in the Middle Ages. If you didn't go to church, you were a heathen and a witch. I'm rambling a little bit. I get that. I'm kind of like settling down to the reality that I don't have a computer to write on. And there's no easy solution either. It's like I'm gonna have to figure out what the next step is. First, I had no money. Now I have no computer. Down, down, down. You know. I tell you, there was a moment in Tampa Bay where I just thought, oh, just stay here by this bridge for the rest of my life and eat pizza. You know, throw away pizza. People always they eat the pizza and they eat like half of the cheesy part and they throw the crust away. And the crust is pretty good. Well, they'll have a nice piece of steak and they'll throw half of the steak away because, they're satisfied. You can eat. Try, dumpster, dumpster, what's it called? Dumpster dipping, or there's a word for it. In the words dumpster fishing, dumpster dipping. Did that in Colorado and in Tampa Bay, Colorado Springs and Tampa Bay, and Albuquerque. Albuquerque, Colorado, Tampa Bay. That's the three places that have dumpster diving. Dumpster diving. The three places that have dumpster dive in my life were Colorado Springs, Albuquerque, and Tampa Bay. In LA, I have too many friends. You had to go where I had no friends. So I would have to, survive off the land, of the fat of the land, as they say. It's kind of like the same idea when you go into the woods. You go into the woods and you survive on the land, and then that's a huge, and that's what it's been on my mind. It's been in my mind. I just want to walk away from it all. I just want to walk into the woods, into a cave somewhere, and just die in a cave. But I'm not doing it. There's a part of me that is not doing that. There's a part of me that wants to do it. There's a part of me that's, just taking care of my orange cat. Kids are not here. Mother's dead. Sissy's gone off. So I don't have any responsibilities for Dad. My dad's still alive, and I want to see him before he kicks the bucket. But he's also okay. He's perfectly fine. He's not, he's not, he doesn't need me as much. He needs me, but he's got the VA, and he's got, a caretaker, and he's got, he's all right. Certainly he's better than Mom was when I took care of her. Mom really needed me. And I took care. I took care until she died. That's what I did. And even, I scrounged and scratched and fought and whatever until she died in my hands. And now that she's gone, I have no idea what I'm fighting for. The house? My retirement? I mean, my cat. Fighting for my cat. And I try to generate income to to keep this house afloat. But it's a big house. It requires a lot of money to repair it, to fix everything, and things just keep falling apart. So it's kind of weird to do that. It's kind of bizarre, because the house is too big for it. I don't need this much. I mean, sure, I like having a roof over my head and everything, but my God, I mean, this is a huge old house. For one guy, it's enormous. 600 meters of garden. You got to pay a gardener to keep the garden from becoming a jungle. You know, 3 bedrooms. I mean, I have a 3 bedroom house in the woods. It's a family house. This house was made for a family, or at least originally it was a temple. It was for a lot of people. And when you have a big house that is meant for a lot of people, it requires a lot of maintenance. It requires a lot of cleaning up every day. It requires a lot of effort every day to just keep it. And if you don't do it, the house starts to fall down, fall apart on you. It starts to fall down. It starts to. And really, what it requires is money. I mean, really, what if you think about it, if you have a big house, what it really needs is you need money. You need money to fix the pipes and fix the electricity and fix this and fix that. And if you don't have that money and you're out there, trying to make it work, you're fighting against the current. You're going against the flow of nature, nature's flow. And I can't seem to bring anybody out here to help me. I mean, or just to be. I mean, I've opened the house to be a shelter for whoever needs sheltering, and nobody takes the offer. Nobody comes out here to shelter themselves. Nobody wants to be here. So why am I here? Why am I here? Besides the orange cat. Orange cat is the principal reason. Otherwise, why the fuck am I here? The money. I mean, the house is worth money. The property is worth money. 4 million pesos, my lawyer tells me. 4 million pesos is what, $200,000, $100,000. See, it doesn't matter. It's about it's in the six figures. Six figures is six figures. I mean, you don't get that type of money every day, you know. And obviously, I don't want to lose the fight against my neighbor here that you know bought the house for 5 figures from mom. 5 figures versus 6 figures it's not fair. But already, I mean, I've already gone and spent a million pesos that I don't have with my aunt. My aunt spent 1 million pesos with my lawyer to defend this house, and there's no guarantees we're going to win. There's no guarantees at all. It's just taking forever. It's just the ever losing battle, and I'm here holding on for what's going to be a pretty depleted payday. At the end of the day, I mean, if I pay my aunt and pay my lawyer, what's left for me and my sister? I have to pay whatever the house is worth. Half goes to my sister. It's going to be very little. It's going to be back to 5 figures probably. So, but 5 figures is 5 figures. It's more than I have now, right? But there's an effort versus result type of thing going here, then I have to really calculate and see if it makes sense. You know, it's like if you're gonna invade Poland, it's fine, but if you invade Poland and you get attacked by well, you invaded Poland, nothing happened. If you invade Czechoslovakia and then you get attacked by the rest of the world, that may not be worth it. So it's like that. It's like, well, what do I have to do? Obviously, the most important thing right now for my entire life, the only thing that makes sense, the only thing that really brings about joy and peace and tranquility into my heart is that little thing right there. And she is pregnant. You're pregnant, aren't you? Hey, I'm talking to you. Yeah, she's pregnant. And she's the most wonderful cat there's ever lived. She's just an amazing, peaceful creature that loves me and I love her, and that's it. That's all there's to it. She wants to sleep. She's been sleeping a lot. She's gonna have babies. Anyways, I have to go pee. I have to see if I can make this computer work for something. And this is my update. Like it or leave it. It's all about it's hubris. You know what my biggest enemy is? Hubris. Humility means to accept defeat. Means, it's okay. I've been defeated. But hubris is not to accept defeat. So hubris is the element when you don't turn tails and run at the right time. It's when you don't measure correctly your risk versus and there is another element that I must admit I have to factor in there, and that is my lawyer, who's my cousin, and my aunt have helped me to hold on to this house for 2 years now. Well, if we consider all the time that they spent with my sister when she was here, 4 years, 2020, and it's 2024, so it's 4 years. Actually, the conflict began in 2019, so it's 5 years. So we've been in this battle against the neighbor for 5 years. And there's still no end in sight to the battle. And my aunt and my lawyer cousin have been there helping me with this for 5 years. So I kind of owe it to them. I kind of owe it to them to win. But there's no guarantees that we're going to win. There's no guarantees. There's just Valle de Bravo is a very corrupt place, and very corruptible people are in charge of getting this thing sorted out. I mean, certainly as far as the moral equivalence of what's going on, it's evident that my neighbor did something she shouldn't have done with mom. But she's got resources. Anyways, I need to go pee and do other things, and this video is over. I just wanted to use this to meditate on my problems and what's really going on, and put them all on video so that I can look at it back at some point and say, "Oh, you're a dumb shit. Look at that dumb shit. You should have done this and that." Bye.